Have you ever felt like your stomach is almost like tied in knots, especially when you were stressed? And also, oh, no matter what you ate, you still felt very bloated, very sluggish, or just really uneasy. You see, your digestion is about more than just food. It's about how you process life itself, your emotions, your past trauma, and even also inherited ancestral patterns. Hi, and welcome to today's episode. My name is Evette Rose, and I am thrilled to have you here with me today. And remember also to subscribe and join me also every Wednesday for our free masterclasses. And you can register at matmasterclass.com. Now, let's get on with this episode because this is about to get really interesting. Remember that your gut is also your second brain, and neuroscience actually tells us that your gut holds over 100 million neurons, more than your spinal cord. And that's why also it is called the second brain. It controls more than just digestion. But what happens when emotions, especially fear, anger, guilt, or resentment gets trapped in the digestive tract? You see, you might start to experience chronic constipation or bloating. You might be holding on to a lot of unresolved emotions that makes you feel really angry and you feel unable to express boundaries in that moment as well. You might struggle with ulcers, acid reflux, or IBS. You see, this relates to difficulty processing life's experiences, feeling constantly in conflict with life, not being able to get into the flow of it. And these points actually go so much deeper. So if you want, you can grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy, which is a big book of 722 medical ailments and the suppressed emotions of that. So ulcers will have its own section. IBS will have its own section. Acid reflux will have its own section. So you can find out so much more. And what can also happen, so coming back to what I was saying, what can also happen is a lot of food sensitivities can start to develop because the body is rejecting certain experiences and even ancestral associations. Now, just a quick reflection moment. Have you ever felt emotionally overwhelmed after eating? It's almost like the food sits really heavy in your stomach, no matter what you eat. You see, it's not just about the food, but it's about what you were feeling when you ate. Let's now look at how does childhood trauma shape digestion. You see, your stomach is deeply connected to love, safety, and emotional support as well. And if you grew up in a home where your needs were ignored and dismissed, or maybe met with hostility, your body learned to suppress hunger, not just for food, but for love, validation, and emotional security as well. So here are some signs that I would like to discuss with you now. Now let's look at some signs how this might be affecting your digestion. Let's say you struggle with feeling guilty for asking for help. You might associate nurture with trauma. You were maybe made to feel very ashamed for needing emotional support as well. Maybe you've also stopped believing that you deserve happiness, and now you just get through life. You just push through on autopilot. You see, your gut holds on to past hurt the same way that your mind does. And if you are experiencing chronic digestion problems, you really have to ask yourself, what emotions am I holding inside? Now let's look at the link between ancestral trauma and food sensitivities. Did you know that your body can carry ancestral memories, especially through food? For example, wheat was, say, commonly now used, given to maybe enslaved people, oppressed people for centuries. And if your ancestors associated wheat with survival and struggle or starvation, your body's probably going to reject it, not just physically, but energetically as well. You see, the challenge here is the next time when you eat, pause. Check in with your emotions and notice, how do you feel? Notice, what do you digest while you're eating your food? And are you, for example, feeling safe? Are you eating while you're on a state of distress? Are you rushing through your meal, or are you taking time to nourish yourself? Do you maybe have an emotional reaction to certain foods even before eating them? Because your emotional state while eating, it matters just as much as what you eat also matters. And just for me personally speaking, when I'm digesting my food, I do my best. I have two small children, so things can get quite hectic and busy. But I do my best to at least try to have an atmosphere where I am calm, and I'm calm when I digest my food, because I feel a significant difference between digesting my food in a calm state and in a stress state. Now, there's a very big link between digestive problems and emotional resistance. You see, your gut is designed to process and release. But what if you struggle to let go emotionally? You're going to most likely struggle with chronic constipation, because that relates to fear of letting go, holding on to the past. It normally often also relates to feeling that you're stuck in a freeze or hide response as well. So it also begs the question, in relationship to what? Now, diarrhea, on the other hand, can also be relating to emotional anxiety, urgency, feeling unsafe. What is it that you feel you need to run away from, but you feel that you cannot? And stomach ulcers, that's very strong internalized anger, feeling emotionally almost eaten away. And from my experience with working with so many people, stomach ulcers normally relate to also suppressed, unprocessed trauma and stress with a female or mother figure. So a nice reflective question that you can ask yourself is, if your body is struggling to release, right? Ask yourself, what emotions am I afraid to release? So there you have it for today's episode. So I would love to hear from you. So comment, let me know what part of this episode resonated with you. What part of this video do you feel challenged and stuck with that you haven't really had a breakthrough with? And also remember to subscribe, stay up to date. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your love and your support. I love you guys. And until next time, be the light that you are. And remember, if you want to learn more about stored emotions in the body and how they can even be hiding behind ailments, tension, pain, negative thoughts, beliefs, any challenges that you're having in your body, there's going to be stored messages. So remember to go grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy. It's a big book of 722 medical ailments, and then the emotions that are suppressed behind them as well. You'll be also finding powerful questions in this book that can really truly help you to get started on your healing journey. And you can find your copy at evettebooks.com.